Hey, hello there, and welcome back to another video. Today's topic is a bit more serious than the last couple of videos that I have made on this channel. And it talks about some things that may be triggering to some people, so if anything like that, such as topics such as abuse and that kind of stuff might trigger you, then please click away from the video. And with that being said, let's get on with the topic. Now, I honestly have no idea what I'm going to title this yet, but yeah, so I basically want to talk about how certain people think that it's okay and fine to treat certain groups of people like shit because some of those people in that group treated other people like shit because of the same reasons that they're treating them like shit now. That made no sense, but I'll try to explain a little bit better. Basically, what I'm saying is some people have the viewpoint that it's okay to be a dick to white people because they are white, because some white people in the past and still now today are dicks to black people because they are black. Do you see where the flaw in that logic is? Now, I'm not going to say that that black people don't and never did have to put up with anything that was unfair and unjust, because they definitely do. And it's not okay, absolutely not. But to turn around and say that, oh, you never had it as bad as we do, therefore we still can treat you like shit, isn't okay. And I know that this isn't speaking for the majority of people, but there still are some people who think this way, and I have met people who do in fact think this way. And as a matter of fact, most of the people who I've met who think this way are white people themselves who kind of speak for the minorities that they say they are trying to defend and help, and no, they're not. All they're doing is taking their voice away from them and speaking for them, speaking on behalves that they have no right to speak on, that they have no permission to speak on, and that they really shouldn't speak on at all, to be completely honest. Like, if you want to help people, but taking their voices away, be it unintentionally or intentionally, just so your own opinions can be heard and voiced, is not okay and never will be okay. And it's not just with race either. You can see this with sexualities. You can see it with gender and gender identity, like trans people, and gays, and basically the LGBTQ community. And you can also see it with sexism, with men and women, with men and women, and misandry and misogyny as well. Just because one group has it worse than another doesn't mean it's okay to discriminate against the group who has it better. That honestly makes you seem more petty than anything, and it doesn't help your case at all when you do that. A lot of people like to think that simply because men didn't have to put up with the shit that women had to go through in history just to get equal rights to men, that they cannot be discriminated against, that men cannot experience sexism. As a matter of fact, they absolutely can experience sexism. You see all those men-hating fucking SJWs and shit like that, drinking out of those fucking men's tears mugs or whatever. That's pretty fucking sexist in my book. Saying that all men are pigs, all men should go fucking die in a hole, and fuck all men, fuck them, but not in the literal sense. I mean, like, fuck men, they suck, yucky, gross, ew, That's pretty fucking sexist, man. I don't know. That's just me, but I think, that's pretty fucking sexist in my book. And yeah, hating someone because of their race, regardless of what their race is, regardless if they are a minority or not, is still racism. If you are a minority when it comes to your race, that has nothing to do with whether or not you can be racist or you can experience racism. Certain races of people have had it worse. Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true, but it is not exclusive. To quote Avenue Q, and yes, I am being serious because they do make a very good point here, bigotry has never been exclusively white. Okay? And that is actually true. I agree with this 100% because it's a fact, all right? Anyone can be a fucking bigot. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is, what your skin color is. And I'm gonna I'm too lazy to cut stuttering out. I know for a fact I'm going to get called a bigot for saying these things. Oh, look at you, you fucking bigot. Look at this bigot. Ha, this fucking bigot. Being a bigot with all their bigot opinions. Ah, yes. I know I'm going to be called a bigot for this. And now let's move on to what I really want to talk about here. And that is the fact of that there is so much, what even was that sentence? And that is how there is so much stigma around the fact of men being abused by women. And there's kind of this misconception that men aren't abused and that men cannot be abused, which is absolutely false. Now, a lot of people would say that men being abused happens less than women being abused, and I'm not going to give any, definitive answers or statistics or anything here, but I think the reason that it appears to... Sorry. Fuck. I think the reason that it appears to be this way is that, it's reported less on, I suppose. Yes, that's what I was going for. It's reported less than women being abused because men being abused isn't taken seriously because there's still the whole stigma around, oh, you're a man, you should just man up. You should just grow up and, oh, your wife or your girlfriend or whoever is beating you, well, she's a woman, you can stand up to, you can stand up to that, you can man the fuck up and stand up to that, when in reality, no, they can't stand up to it. And do you want to know why they can't stand up to it? Because if they do stand up to it, the minute they defend themselves, the minute he defends himself, that is when it's all over, right? And it's going to end good for the abuser, for the woman, and bad for the man, because he's going to be the one who ends up getting in trouble, who ends up sitting in prison for being a woman beater, or whatever the fuck you want to say. And even if the woman does end up in jail, she is going to be in there for considerably less time for the exact same crime. And not even the exact same crime in this context. All the man was doing was defending himself. And people say cis white men have no worries in the world. They sure as hell don't have to put up with everything that many, many other groups of people have had to put up with to this day and throughout the years. But it's not all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, all right? And I know it's not even just white cis men. This can be said for almost any man, regardless of, their skin color or whatever. it's just men in general, to be completely honest, who have to deal with this, and it's not fair, it's not okay, and I know there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now that we need to, you know, be dealing with. The whole situations, I don't want to say by name, but you know what I'm talking about. So I don't feel like now is a good time to, you know, sort of have any other shit going on, but when all this dies down, there should be more people trying to stop this, and when they can, you know, put their energy and focus and time into other things, because everything else going on does require attention and care, and I don't want that to be taken away, even though, you know, both things here are good causes, but, you know, people's lives are being lost, so, you know, the whole COVID shit and the Black Lives Matter, which are very important, and I don't want to, you know, add more shit onto that, but I just feel like, you know, it's good to have awareness about these types of things, and I guess that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, you know, invalidate any other movements, and I'm not trying to, you know, necessarily start another movement, but, because I'm sure movements for this have already been started. And if they have, that's great. That's fucking wonderful. That's amazing, you know, because, like, a lot of people out there will preach that they are for equal rights and then turn around and say that, oh, I'm for equal rights, but not for this certain group of people because some people in that group of people discriminated against other people in the past, despite the fact that the whole of the majority did not do so, if that makes sense. Basically going back to the, yeah, I'm going to be racist to white people because some white people are racist to black people argument, which is bullshit and stupid and yucky and is an argument that should not ever be made. And it's big dumb. So, where do we leave off on this video? Well, 1, bigotry is not a one-way street. It can go any way, either way, in any direction. I draw way too slow for my videos. I can't fucking draw pupils correctly. And I'm going to leave this off by saying that yes, I didn't finish this drawing. I don't know if I'm going to finish it in my next video or not. And also, discrimination is not a one-way street. Once again, if you judge somebody negatively for something that they cannot control, be it their, like, literally for any reason whatsoever, no matter what side of the spectrum you or that other person is on, is discrimination. And it doesn't fucking matter. Yes, you can be racist if you are white. You can be racist if you are black. You can be homophobic. You can be heterophobic. But you shouldn't be those things. You shouldn't be any of those things. You shouldn't be transphobic, heterophobic, homophobic, racist, sexist, any of that shit, because that's yucky and bad, and just let people live their lives as long as they're not hurting anybody, as long as they're not a fucking pedophile or anything like that shit, you know, let people live their lives, leave them alone, just as long as they're not hurting anyone, you know. And yeah, that's about all for this video, and take care, or don't. I don't really care what you do, but please, take care, guys. Come on.